Mr. Tyndall, you spoke about conservation efforts and in terms of water. Installation of new infrastructure can make a big difference in conservation efforts. This includes products like low-flow toilets and high-efficiency faucets. How accessible are these materials and building techniques to small business contractors?
Well, the materials are readily accessible. As a matter of fact, it came to my attention this week by one of the national staff members that one of the primary manufacturers of China has gone away from, or is moving towards going away from producing the existing low flush water closets of 1.6 gallons per flush and are going to go solely to the 1.28 gallon technology, and that's due to consumer demand. It has hit these manufacturers at a much greater rate than what they ever anticipated, and we assume it's because of the high cost of water. The water utility rates are going up, and not only when you water, it's up to 12% of the nation's energy produced, electric energy, goes to treating, cleaning, or pumping water. So if we can serve water by installing these readily available products, we can not only save the energy it costs to move the water. In California, it's 20%. We can also save the energy it takes to heat the water when it gets into the home if it's a faucet that's using less water. These products are readily available. We do feel as an industry, though, that as the rest of the industries here, that there needs to be some kind of a push to the consumer to get them over this hurdle of cost in this time. So, you know, which there hasn't been in our industry.
So what are you doing, or your industry, in making sure that your contractors and their workers can meet the increasing demand for these products and techniques?
Well, as I stated in my testimony, that Green Plumbers is training, and we're out. You know, the objective this year is to train 10,000 existing plumbers in green technologies, and that program offers the consumer the option for water conservation. Typically, a plumber comes into your home and not necessarily doesn't offer you these available technologies. Some of them are relatively inexpensive. Changing your aerator out on a lavatory faucet from a 1.5 gallon minute flow rate to a 1/2 gallon minute flow rate can make a huge difference in water consumption in a home, and it's a relatively inexpensive repair. It could be done at the time of the service call. So this training process of the existing workforce to retrain them to offer the consumer energy water conservation measures is up and running, and to date I believe they've trained 1,500 people, and the goal is 10,000 this year.
Thank you. Mr. Chabot. Oh, Mr. Akin. Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We got 3 committees at the same time. It's kind of hard to be at all of them, but and so I missed your testimony, but I appreciate all of the different things that you're doing to try and make things work together here. One of the reasons that I tend to be a little bit skeptical, but perhaps aside from the engineering background, is I've seen a lot of these environmental efforts that we've made in a government point of view being almost perfectly counterproductive. We try to do something like put MTBE in gasoline because it'll burn a little bit more efficiently, and instead the MTBE washes out of the gasoline into the groundwater, and you create more problems than what you wanted. And there are a lot of other examples like that. The fact that people drive a very heavy, big truck-type cars is partly because of the fleet mileages, which we thought was going to make it so people would drive around in smaller, more efficient cars. And there are a lot of times where we pass legislation that kind of does the backwards. And I'm just curious on the low volume toilets. Is that another one of these deals where you say, oh yeah, you can only do it with 1/2 gallon, but then you have to flush it 4 times or something like that? I mean, or are we sort of cutting off our nose to spite our face with some of these technologies? I guess that's a concern that I have, that we make sure that the things become practically doable before we jump into them too rapidly.
Something you want me to comment on, sir?
Yes, if you
We as an organization have the exact same concern as many of you may be aware of in the early 90s when there was federal mandates to reduce water consumption, the part of the energy bill. The government required the manufacturers to go from the existing 3.5 gallon a minute flush water closets to 1.6 gallon per minute water closets. And as many of you probably had in your home, they simply didn't flush, and the consumer did not have a satisfactory experience. The plumbing contractors ended up sharing most of their burden of that on us because we are the direct contact with the consumer. They would come back, you've sold us a product that doesn't work. This process...
Were you just limiting how fast the water could refill the tank, or how much the tank actually held?
Basically, all they did with the first generation of the 1.6 gallon a minute flush toilets was they just limited the amount of water in the tank. There wasn't really any redesign of the existing water closets, so the product didn't work. That has since been worked through, and the new products are quite satisfactory. This round of product, going from the 1.6 down to the 1.28, is a different scenario. The manufacturers have driven this. The Manufacturers Plumbing Institute, they want this product out. They think they've redesigned, re-engineered these products, and they believe they work. The PHCC, as an organization, are concerned, and we were going to take a systems approach to this. It doesn't do a lot of good if we can get the waste through the product and then can't get it out of the home, or we can get it to the street and can't get it to the sewer plant, or we get it to the sewer plant and the design of the sewer plant is such that the water waste solid mixture is different than what it was originally designed for. So we 100% agree that that going forward with new technologies such as gray water systems, there's rainwater reclamation systems. All these technologies need to be taken in a systems approach, and we at the PHCC are involved with the EPA WaterSense, with the Alliance for Water Efficiency, with IATMO, with the I-codes. There's, and it's still being worked out as to who is going to end up writing the standard, but we believe that the standard ought to be a fully encompassing of the whole system.
I appreciate what you're saying. You answered my question exactly, because you can change one thing and it may end up that you haven't fixed something down the line. We just passed a bill that said, it was a bright idea that Congress came up with, that we're going to get rid of light bulbs, which is an odd thing because that's a picture of bright ideas is light bulbs. We're going to get rid of light bulbs and we're going to go with the mercury type. Well, those have got a big advantage. They use a quarter or less the same energy as an incandescent bulb. But they have disadvantages, and that is you break one in your home and you got to call a hazmat team to clean it up for you because of the mercury in the bulb. So there's all of these, in engineering there's always a balance between these things, and we have to just be cautious as to how we proceed, it seems, to make sure that we don't get lopsided. But Madam Chair, I didn't mean to get too far afield from your hearing here, but it is a concern that we consider all sides of the equation. Thank you very much.
Thank you.